Alrighty, it looks like we're live. There we go. Okay, so thanks for joining us in the launch workshop. I'm going to step down here so I'm a bit closer to everybody. I can look you in the eye. I don't know what that looks like on the live stream. So the purpose of the launch workshop is to get you started as quickly as possible in this business, so you know you don't have any open-ended questions. There's no confusion as to what to expect in the next month or so as you get started in this business. It's a great fundamental little workshop because what you're going to learn now in the next 30 minutes, you need to use that information when you prospect, because anyone that joins your channel, you need to expose them to the same information, right? You've got to empower them the same way we're about to empower you. You've got to do the same thing for people that join you in your channel. So, without further ado, let's get started. So 3 steps to fast wealth creation. So the things we're going to cover is understanding exactly how you earn. So we speak about returns. How do we exactly calculate the returns? That's very important to know. And then we're going to get into the phone app. So I hope everyone who is a wealth engineer has downloaded the phone app. There's free Wi-Fi, so there shouldn't be any data excuses. Download the app, get it started, get it running, because we're going to go through that very quickly. Just a quick snapshot of what to see in the app, and then understanding expectations, slow versus fast. So how much money do you expect to earn? Well, really, how much money can you earn in the next few months, in the next year, and how much activity is based around that? Because false expectations lead to despair, and despair leads to you quitting. We don't want that. I want you to understand exactly how you're empowered in this business and what to expect out of it. Okay. Same information you're going to dispense to people that you get to join in your business, right? So it's all important information. All right, how to earn. So you saw this slide come up in the intro presentation. It is basically just a breakdown of how much money you earn on product on every point in your qualified channel, right? So I'm not going to go over this too much. I think everyone understands it, right? 55 Rand on your first point, 55 Rand on your second point, then it starts breaking down to 100%, 27 Rand 50, and then all the way to point 8. Any questions at this point? Is there anything anyone wants to understand better about what you're earning per point? You don't have to worry. In your first month, you're only going to be concerned about point 1 and 2, and that's where most of the money lies, so it's all good, all right? So we call this the mechanics of the returns. But then we've got what we call qualifying rules in our business. So when you hear us ever speaking about your channel, we always refer to something called a qualified channel, right? So what is a qualified channel versus a normal channel? This is what I'm going to tell you. So we've got 3 qualifying rules in the business. These are 3 questions that we ask before we pay any wealth engineer in our business. The first qualifying rule is, have you paid for your product? Right? You have to be an active wealth engineer. In other words, you have to be an active product owner in this business to benefit from the DuePoint system. And so the first question we ask is, have you paid for your product? If your debit orders failed, well, then we don't even look at your business. We move on to the next person. You don't get paid anything. And so that's the primary kind of question you've got to ask yourself is, the person that I'm bringing into the business, can they afford a product at least? Because if they can't, well, then you're wasting your time, really, right? So the first question is, have you paid for your product? And you say, yes, I have paid for my product, or my debit order is at the end of the month, no problem. Good. The second question we ask is, are you a qualified wealth engineer? So what is a qualified wealth engineer? It is someone who has got 3 people in their business who have all paid for their product. That's what a qualified wealth engineer is. That is where you actually get started in our business. We actually don't pay you if you only have 1 person in your business. We don't pay you if you've got 2 people in your business. We only start paying you once you have 3 people in your business. So not too onerous, right? You can do that in a day. You can do that in a week. Up to you. Paul was bragging in his testimony in the week that he got, 7 or 5 in a week? 5 in the first week. So he got himself qualified in the first week and was set to earn in 3 days. There you go. Right, so that is your first goal. As anyone that's brand new in this business, your first goal is to get qualified as quickly as possible. Because when you start getting a little line item on your bank statement that says DuePoint and is putting money into your account, that is a great motivator. Right, so make sure that you do that. Also, when you speak to people that have just joined your business, try get them to commit to getting qualified as quickly as possible. And I don't mean you say to them, you find 3 people tomorrow or else. right? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. This is a volunteer business, right? You've got to be gentle with people, but still get commitment out of them. And how do you get commitment out of people? You just ask them the question. You explain to them the qualifying rules, and then you say to them, how quickly do you want to get qualified? And that's when they will commit to you, right? You don't have to ask for the commitment. Get them to commit. And then they'll say, oh, no, I'm busy this week. I can do it on the weekend. Or, sheesh, I think I'm going to speak to people on Sunday. I want to get this done. Now you've got commitment from them. Now you can say, well, do you need help? Can I phone you on Monday to see how it's gone? You will see everything on your app, by the way, so you can spy on people on your first point, right? So that's what a qualified wealth engineer is. So it goes without saying that at DuePoint, the minimum that we pay people is 165 Rand. It's 55 Rand times 3. We don't pay anyone 55 Rand. We don't pay people 110. We start at 165 and work upwards, right? So that's the second qualifying rule. And then the third one is, so there you see the little illustration that says, okay, you qualified now you're earning 165 Rand. You are now called a qualified wealth engineer. The third qualifying rule pertains to how big is your qualified channel. So beyond your first point, how much are we going to pay you? So let's say you're like Patrick and Pumi and you've got a business that's 35 points deep. How much of that are they going to get paid for? Well, that comes to our third qualifying question. The question is, how many qualified wealth engineers do Patrick and Pumi have on their first point? Because for every qualified wealth engineer you have on your first point, we pay you points in your channel. Okay? So let's go over that because I know it can be a little confusing. So here you've started your channel. You've paid your product. Your first 3 people have paid their product. Wonderful, you qualified. And now one of the people that you brought in, they went and connected 3 people. Wonderful. That's exactly what you want people to do that come into your business, right? And so they've become a qualified wealth engineer. So they're earning 165 Rand. How much are you earning? You would assume that you're earning 330 Rand, right? 55 times 3. But you're not, because the second point, you haven't opened your second point yet. Why? Because the question is, how many qualified wealth engineers do you have on your first point? That dictates. If you've got 1, we only pay you for 1 point. If you've got 2 qualified wealth engineers, we'll pay you on 2 points. If you've got 3 qualified wealth engineers, we'll pay you on 3 points. So the qualified wealth engineers always have to correlate with the amount of points you have open, right? So if you've got a business like Patrick and Pumi, 30 points, all the way out here. For them to earn the maximum amount of returns every month, they have to have 30 qualified wealth engineers on their first point. If they've only got 15, we only pay them up to the 15th point in their business. Do you understand? Right? So here, this person, what do they need to do to earn this money? They're not earning money here. Why? What do they need to do to earn money on their second point? They've got to get this or this person qualified. So there you go. They've got the second person qualified. Boom. It opens up their second point. They're now earning all of that money. Right? Oh, but look, naughty wealth engineers are still growing your channel. You've got to keep up with them. You've got to keep up. So now they've got product on your third point. How do you earn on your third point? You find a third qualified wealth engineer, right? There. Now that third person that's on your first point has become qualified. That opens up your third point. And if your fourth point starts to grow, you need to find a person that you've brought in and get them qualified, and that fourth qualified wealth engineer will open up your fourth point. Do you understand? You're going to forget all of this in 5 minutes. That's why we've got a YouTube video on how do you qualify. That's 5 minutes long. Go watch it. I saw a funny quote this morning. It says, I think it was by Einstein. It says, if you cannot explain a principle to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Go watch the video on YouTube 10 times. So that you can explain it to anybody that needs explaining, right? Because people have to understand this. Because what people do is if they don't understand our qualifying rules, they expect to be earning more than what we're going to pay them. Then they think we're stealing from them, right? We're an audited business. We pay every single person what they deserve to be paid. We don't make mistakes, right? Make sure you understand these rules so that the people know exactly how much they're going to earn. It won't lead to any disappointment in your channel, and so you'll have a happy channel. Right? If there's disappointment, there's going to be moaning in your channel. You don't want that. So understand the 3 qualifying rules, very important. Onto the DuePoint app. If you've got your phone, whip your phone out now, take a look. You'll be presented generally when you open the app with the login. You log in and then you get presented with the daily notices. So the daily notices are our messages from head office to you They serve as reminders to you with regards to what's happening in the business, any incentives that we're running. So take a look at the notices. We'll send out one every time we have an intro presentation on the day, because you can link it and you can share it, right? So you just click on the link, it'll open up your YouTube app and allow you to watch that. There's a share button in the bottom corner. It looks conspicuous there, but know that it's there, and you can send that to other people, right? So that's the notices. If you want to close the notice, you can click on that X. It'll remove the notice immediately. But these do expire. They'll disappear on their own anyway. And you can hit the back button. If you hit the back button, you'll get presented with the home screen. So this is the home screen. This is typically a snapshot of your entire channel. You need to become an expert at the app. I'm only going to go through a couple of screens with you, but you need to play around, right? You can't break the app. I know the old people, they don't like to play around. I'm going to break the phone. You're not going to break the phone. That's why kids learn so quickly with the apps. You wonder why kids learn so quickly on the, because they're just touching everything. Click, 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 and they learn fast, right? They're not scared. Don't be scared. Go through our app, click on all the buttons, see what you'll probably earn XP without you even knowing it. So this is the home screen. The home screen, I'm going to go through each of the elements. You've got your name at the top there. You can click on all these things. You can click on your name. Your profile will come up. It's got your return, so that's how much you are expecting to earn that month. That number will change all the time depending on people who are paying and not paying their debit orders. Then you've got your rewards program rank. So this person is rank 6. It shows you they're nearly at rank 7. You can click on that. It'll tell you how much XP and all of that you got. As a brand new wealth engineer, I don't want you to worry about the rewards program yet. Right? If you're brand new, don't worry about the rewards program. You will earn XP, or whether you like it or not, right? You'll have more XP than you need when you start out in this business, fortunately. So don't worry about it if you're brand new. But when you hear about us talking about XP and ranks and the rewards, don't stress about it. It'll happen for you immediately. In the next couple of months, then you can start to understand the XP rewards program. But now you just want to start earning money. That's the menu button. We call it a little hamburger menu. You can click on that. A whole menu comes out. That tells you what screen you're looking at. So you're looking at this month's channel information. That's a drop-down menu. So you can click on that, and it'll show you all the points you have in your business. So if you're Patrick and Pumi, you can scroll through 30 points, right? Then it's got your successful debits. This is in your entire channel. So that's the amount of debits that have been paid successfully in your business. That's the amount that are still pending. So people always set their debit orders at the end of the month, right? A lot of them. So you'll have a lot of pending debit orders that'll sit there, and then at the end of the month, whoosh, that number will go to 0, right? And then you've got failed debits. Anything that's in red is generally not a good thing in our business. So if you see red, it's not great. There are failed debits, right? Don't get depressed over failed debits. It's part of business. Every company in the country has got failed debits. It's just a byproduct of our economy, unfortunately. So don't worry too much, but you want to have less failed debits as possible. So you can derive some knowledge out of failed debits. So if you look at your first point, which is what you're responsible for, and half the people you brought in all failed their debit orders, you need to question yourself, well, who am I speaking to? Am I speaking to the right people? So just be aware of that. BPQ, that's just a ratio of your first and second point only. It's a ratio of successful debits. Right? So if you've got nearly 90%, that's great. That's actually quite high. So Donnie's sitting there. He's got one of the highest BPQs in our business. Right? So everyone he brings in pays their debit orders. I think it's because he's a big oak. He says, you don't pay, I'm going to visit you. Right? He's a biker, exactly. I'll bring the gang past your house. So you want that number to be as big as possible, and it only looks at your first and second point, because that's where you have control to a degree. It's pointless showing your BPQ lower than that, because you're not the person prospecting below that point, right? So it only shows you your first and second point BPQ. Applications, so that's how many people have applied as a new wealth engineer, and that's cancelled or lapsed. So that's how many people have left the business. They've either cancelled their product or they've lapsed out. Lapsed out is when we force you out the business because you failed more than 2 debit orders in a row, right? Then we just push you out the business because your failed debit orders are costing us. So that's your home screen. And then right at the bottom, if you can see that, I know the people on the live stream might not see it, but look at your phone. At the bottom, These are tabs, so these are sections. We've got channel, we've got events, we've got rewards, we've got add wealth engineer, we've got tools. You're going to be using that button the most, add wealth engineer. That's every time someone wants to join, click add, give them the phone, say just finish the application form. All right, so that's the home screen. Okay, let's jump through this. Okay, so now if you click on that button there, so if you click on the drop-down, qualified channel, it'll show you all the points that you have in your business. Right? So when you start out, you'll only have 0.1. But as your channel starts to grow, then you'll see there's a 0.2 and a 0.3, and it tells you how much each point is worth. Right? So if you've got 10 people on 0.1, then you'll have 550 Rand on 0.1. So this person obviously has 20 people on 0.1 because they're earning 1,100 a month just on 0.1. That means they've got 20 people on their first point. And it tells you on every point how much is worth. But now look, the points that are in blue is your qualified channel. The points in red is your unqualified channel. That tells you I need to go look at my people on my first point and see who I can get qualified. Because if I've got, in this example, I've obviously got 5 qualified wealth engineers on my first point because my qualified channel is up to 0.5. If I go qualify another wealth engineer, then it'll open up 0.6. Another one, it'll open up 0.7. I don't want any red points in my business. So it goes without saying that you need to bring people into the business that have the resources, that are entrenched enough in doing DuePoint that they just become qualified. If every person that you connected to DuePoint became qualified, you wouldn't have to do anything else. You wouldn't have to know anything else. You wouldn't have to worry about anything else. You bring in someone, they get qualified, no problem. Your business will just, it'll look perfect, your business, right? And so there's 2 fundamentals. I always talk about 2 fundamentals in our business. Connect, so in other words, go prospect, find people, get them qualified. That's the only 2 things you have to do at DuePoint. Nothing else. Nothing else. If you can do those 2 things, you are set. All right. So if you go back, if you click on 0.1, so you can actually click on those individual points. So if you want to see a closer detail on just 0.1, click on 0.1 and it shows you 0.1. There you go. 20 successful debits. That's earning you 1,100 Rand. There's still 4 debit orders that have to go off in the month. That's a potential earnings of an extra 220 Rand. And then you've got 1 person that's failed their debit order on 0.1. So that you can click on that failed debit order. See this little arrow there? You can click on it and see who failed their debit order. You can phone them and say, what's happening? Do you need groceries? Do you need do you know DuePoint's got free tea and coffee? All right? But it gives you an understanding of what's happening in your point because you can actually have personal relationships with each of these people that you bring into the business. You can start becoming a little discerning. Go, geez, I wonder why. And it actually becomes hard. You'll have people that are driving around Mercedes-Benzes and their debit order there will fail. Right? Again, it's the state of the economy, of people's personal finance positions at the moment. So it just means that you can approach the person, ask them what's happening. You know, some people will ignore you. Some will go, oh, I don't know why, it's the wrong account. Sometimes they're wrong account details. A lot of the time, the banking details have been captured incorrectly. It allows you just to make the person aware. They would have got SMSs from us saying the debit order's failed, you can redress that. So people have always got 15 days grace to redo that debit order. Right? It won't impact your business if they're able to redebit. So that gives you an understanding. So you can click on every single point on your app and go look at every single point in detail. Right? You can click on the person's name and it'll bring up their phone details. It'll tell you how active they've been in the last month. So go play around in the app. You need to become an expert in the app. Expert in the business, right? The app tells you everything. All right. If you click on your name, so let's just go back there. There's your name, right? Click on your name, it'll bring up your profile. If you want to earn 1,000 XP quickly out the blocks, click on your name. There's a little camera icon over there. We want you to take a profile photo. So if you click on that, it brings up your camera. Do a selfie. Not one of these. Business selfie. Right? I'm looking at the ladies. 1 or 2 of the men, but mostly the ladies. Go take a selfie. We give you 1,000 XP. All right? 1,000 XP is a lot of XP. So go do that. It just helps us understand who the people are in our business. Because like I said, we've got thousands of people. A name doesn't suffice sometimes. Sometimes it's nice to look on our database and see the name and we see a photo. And we go, I remember that person. Right? So go take a selfie. There's free XP there. It'll tell you, so if you click on your profile, it'll tell you your returns for the month, your qualified channel size, your XP, your BPQ. That's all there too. Okay. Then, at the bottom of the tabs, so I just want to show you guys how to find rewards. So we spoke about the 365 challenge and the 15,000 Rand on offer this month. If you want to go find more information on those, open your app, click on rewards at the bottom, because those two incentives are part of our rewards program. So you click on rewards at the bottom there. It'll open up the rewards page. There we go. And there are actually 3 rewards pages. So if you swipe, I know this is high grade. If you swipe, you'll go from quests to the other 2 pages. Quests, it tells you what the rewards are, and the third one tells you bonus XP that you get for the size of your channel. But you want to be interested in quests. It'll show you the monthly quest and the 365 quest at the top. So that was explosive growth. That was October's wealth quest. If you go there now, it'll tell you hit 2019 sprinting. If you look at your phone now, and above that, you've probably got another one that says 365 challenge, right? Click on those. You can click on it. It'll open it up. You can click on the T's and C's or the info button, and it'll give you all the T's and C's and the information about each of those quests. Because again, you don't want to make assumptions about the quest, and then you get to the end of the month and you go, oh, I didn't get it because I didn't realize something. All right, so go look at the information there. And then those are the rest of the quests for earning XP. Like I said, if you're brand new, don't worry about the rest of the stuff. You'll earn XP anyway. Slow versus fast. Let's talk about expectations. So let's see. Who's happy to earn less than 2,500 Rand in the next 6 months? Everyone wants more than that. Okay, so I'm going to skip that column. I'm going to skip that column. I'm going to 2 people a month. So if you want to earn around 2,500 Rand in the next 6 months, you have to be connecting at least 2 people a month. That's not difficult, right? But look where 2 people a month gets you. So 2,500 Rand after 6 months, 10,000 Rand after a year, 30,000 Rand after 2 years, 45,000 Rand after 3 years, 60,000 Rand after 4 years, and then 100,000 Rand after 5 years, plus or minus 15,000 Rand, because more accurately it's about 85,000 after 5 years. If that's what you're going to do, you can't skip months. You can't say December and January I'm busy and I'm on holiday and I don't do anyone. Our business is built on exponential growth, right? That's the power of it. That's the benefit that you want to leverage the most. If you take November off and December and January off and you forget to connect 2 people, it'll reduce your 5-year earnings by 70%. It's like taking money out your investment. It has exponential consequences, right? And so people go, oh, I was connecting to a month, but then you look at the report and you go, actually, you didn't do anything in November, you did nothing in December, and you did nothing in January, right? So if you're going to do 2 a month, do 2 a month. Otherwise, don't expect the numbers. If you want to do more than 2 a month, you can, right? You can do 3, 4, 5 a month. Those are the numbers you can expect to earn. Exponential growth in this business, right? So be aware of the numbers so that you understand what to expect out of our business. All right. Any questions so far? Haven't had any questions? You should know everything by now. Kali?
I have a question just maybe for the other guys to also understand.
Yeah? Okay, ask it. I'll repeat it. Don't worry.
Okay. I think I asked this question before. These numbers here.
Yeah.
With the time. If you put in 10 people
Yeah.
per month,
Yeah.
okay, then it goes to 100,000 within a year, I think. Is that right?
I would assume so.
Can you actually
It's fairly complex, this. It's not as simple if you times it by 2, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But, so what is your question? You want to know?
The question is, can you actually rely on these numbers? If you connect 5 people, you'll be on 100,000 within 2 years. Can you 100% rely on that if you do it?
No, not 100%, because there are a lot of factors. So what we do is we average out typical growth in our business. So we've got lots of data that we look at, and we look at the people that are actually doing the numbers, right? And that backs up what we claim that you can achieve. We also look at industry, so network marketing industry standards with regards to growth, and this is where we pull the numbers. So let's say you do 2 a month, right? So you want to get to 2,500 Rand. You get 2 a month. But every person that you connect doesn't qualify themselves. you won't have any growth in your channel. Or every person that you bring in didn't pay their product that month. You'll be at zero, right? So there are a lot of these other underlying factors that will affect your business. But we've got some people that do 2 a month and they exceed the numbers. We've got people that do 2 a month and still lag behind. That's why I tease Paul sometimes and say he's outperforming his channel, right? So he's got to find stronger people in his business. It will happen because if you knock on enough doors, you're going to find that one person that's going to come and outperform everybody in his business, right? So he's been in the business for 6 months. He's connected 41 people, so an average of 7 people a month, but he's only at 2,500 Rand, right? So that's why I say his channel is lagging behind his performance. They will catch up. The problem is when that happens, a lot of people quit. They go, oh, look at the work I'm putting in, but my channel's not doing the same work. They haven't allowed themselves, because in the early stages of your business, you've only connected 40 people, right, on your first point. What are the odds in the 40 that you find a high performer? You might get lucky and it might be the first person you find. Or you might be unlucky and it might be the 100th person you find. In Patrick and Pumi's case, they did the business for, it was 6-7 months before you found Spamandla, right? A name came up on the list. Patrick sent the guy a message. The guy ignored him. Patrick phoned him. The guy lied to him and said, oh no, I looked at everything. I'll give you a call later in the week. The guy then looked at the presentation a week later. He brought 1,000 people into their business in the space of 5 months. Right? So you've got to keep knocking on doors. You can look at the numbers. The numbers are here to address expectation. But if you understand the business well, you will know, jeepers, look how bad my BPQ is. I need to find better quality people. Or I'm connecting 4 people a month, but my channel's been a bit laggy. They're not doing the performance I'm doing. Right? As a leader, you've got to look at that and go, okay, I need to find someone that's going to outperform me or the rest of my channel. If you look at it and go, oh, this business doesn't work, and you just quit, well, then you're just going to start at zero somewhere else. Right? So understand the business carefully. That's why we do the training, so that people can understand the business. If you look at our businesses, right, because we've opened up many businesses in the past, we have the experience to look at business and go, oh, look, 25% of our business fail their debit orders. We don't close up shop and go home and cry. We know that it's part of business. It's part of the insurance landscape. We plan for it. We expect it. And we still build success in despite of it. Right? And so that's very important to understand the business that you're getting yourself involved in. But these numbers will help you with regards to expectation. All right, the DuePoint 365 challenge. So I assume everyone's seen the 365 challenge. Please go look at the T's and C's so that you understand what is required. You don't have to have all 365 people paying at the end of 365 days, right? So we're quite lenient in terms of what your channel looks like, as long as you connect the 365, right? Go look at the T's and C's. Don't make assumptions about what 365 looks like. So to explain this in a little more depth, your earnings are going to be around 1.75 million in terms of our returns and rewards program after 365 days. How do we calculate that? So what we do is we look at anyone who is able to do 1 person a day, not 2 people a month, 1 a day. And if you can follow that 1 a day trajectory, we plan for you to get to about rank 12. Rank 12 or 13, you'll be in that area. When you're at rank 12, you're going to be earning between 35 and 45,000 a month, right? After 12 months. So we take the returns over that year, which comes to about 500,000 Rand in total. Then we take the extra cash return that we give you, so it's not there. We give you the extra 365,000 bonus on top of those returns that you earn. And then through the rewards program, you would have earned all the different cash rewards along the way. You would have got the memory stick, the business cards, the Rank 9 holiday. So December, you'll be coming with us wherever we're going in December, and then you'll have the car. And then there's big checks along the way. 25,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand check, a 75,000 Rand check waiting for you. And then rank 13 is on your doorstep. Rank 14 is a Mediterranean trip to the Med that you enjoy every single year. And then there's a AMG Mercedes somewhere along the line there too. So that is to give you understanding of 365. It is a massive quest, right? It is a massive quest. We've got wealth engineers already connecting more than one person a day since the 1st of January. Some of them are pensioners. Some of them are young people. So don't come to me and say, oh, it sounds too hard. Well, you've just put yourself in the category of it's too hard, which is fine, right? If you want to do this, go check the T's and C's, develop a plan. Go look at Pumi's video about her strategy around doing 365. That's fairly straightforward. And then just start doing it, right? Start doing it. You might find it hard in the first week. You might surprise yourself. One big thing that you have to remind yourself of is there's no downside to doing 365. Let's say you try your hardest and you only connect 180 people. Your earnings are going to be massive anyway. You might only get to rank 7, 8, or 9 if you do that, but you are on rank 9's doorstep if you do half of this. If you do a third of this, you're still going to be earning 10, 15,000 Rand a month. There is no downside to doing this, right? But if you conquer this quest, you're a millionaire in a year. And you are still building off of it. We don't freeze you. We don't go, okay, right, you've done really well. We're paying you 80,000 Rand a month, and that's where we cap you. You can keep going. Who aspires to earning 200,000 Rand a month? Because we pay you a royalty of our business. Do you understand that? You go listen to any of these entrepreneurial shows, Shark Tank and Dragon's Den. Go watch those programs. They talk about deal making in those programs. And go listen to where guys offer royalty in business. Getting a royalty in a business is the best deal you can get. Why? Because you don't have to spend anything. The business does everything for you, and they give you cream off the top. That's the beauty of royalty businesses, right? And that's what you do here in essence. You're earning a royalty off of the business you help us build. So 365 challenge, we've got the quest this month, January. I know lots of wealth engineers are doing this. We are nearing the end of the month, so overshoot. You have to overshoot. Because if you only get 30 people in and one misses his debit order, you're going to be crying at the end of the month, right? You find 35 people, you find 40 people, put them in, and if 5 or 10 don't pay their debit order, you still got the 30 and you still got the 15,000 Rand in your pocket. So be aware of that. What to do? So just simply, you're going out and connecting people to DuePoint. Like I said, you only have to get people in front of this intro presentation. The one we had this morning, 35 minutes, get them to it. If it's on the live stream, it's on YouTube, it's a USB stick, you've got the video on your iPad or your tablet or whatever it is, get people to watch the video. That's your only job. Connect. You're not selling product at DuePoint. I know you want to sell the product, but you don't. You connect people to the business opportunity. Never talk about product, we talk about wealth. So like I say, this is something that discerns us from the rest of businesses. We're a wealth creation business, right? That recurring income is the path to wealth. Commission-based, sales-based income is not wealth building. It is not. It's a once-off activity-based income. It is massively limiting. We have to realize this, right? It might be harder to do the wealth thing, right? Because you're building slow income that grows every single month, as opposed to going out and selling 100 panty liners on the weekend and making 200 Rand profit, right? You have to be mature enough to understand the benefits of wealth creation rather than chasing activity-based income. Use the tools. So we've got a massive amount of tools, right? There is no business in the country that comes close to us in terms of the tools that we have available for our wealth engineers at no cost. So take advantage of the tools that we have. Get started now. There's no waiting. 365, there's no waiting. You start immediately. Plug into the DuePoint program, become an expert at the app, click on everything so you know the app back to front, watch all the training. We have got massive amounts of training on YouTube. Right? If it means that you've got to go somewhere where there's free Wi-Fi, put your headphones in, watch the training over and over again. It'll make you an expert in our business. It kills me, it pains me when I've got experienced wealth engineers that come ask us simple questions. Right? You should know everything about the business in the first 2 or 3 months. Back to front, you should be able to come work as a client service staff member here at DuePoint. That's how well you should know the business. All right? And then just be aware of our calendar. So our calendar is quite regular. We've got intro presentations throughout the week. Be aware of all of those if you want to use the live presentations. They're obviously available on YouTube constantly. We've got training once a month, generally the last Saturday of the month. We've got a special intro presentation called Tell All Tuesday, which is where we invite wealth engineers onto stage to share testimony. They get massive recognition up on stage. So just be aware of the calendar. Go to the app, click on events. It's there. Facebook page, we're very active on Facebook. YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then make sure you've downloaded the app. Again, this is all information you need to dispense to new people in your business. This is not just for you. Everything that you learn, you've got to filter out to the rest of your business, right? Because it's to your benefit. Merchandise is very important. Again, our business is about first impressions. If you go speak to anyone who's in sales, they'll tell you. They are the guys that are usually well-dressed, the guys that follow up perfectly, right? Merchandise is a part of that thing. If you ever deal with property real estate agents, they've always got a name tag. They've got business cards. The business cards even have photos of them on there, right? They conduct sales-based business. Even though we're not involved in sales from a product side of point of view, you are still selling the business opportunity. Get the merchandise because it paints a picture of credibility. People will trust you more if they see that you are entrenched in the business that you're a proponent of. If I stood up here and didn't have a tie on, maybe I had shorts on, my slops and a t-shirt with a stain from last night's braai on my top, you'd go, this guy is a joke. He doesn't take his business seriously. What is going on here? What did you bring me to? Right? First impressions count for a lot. Guys, get the business cards. They're the most important thing, business cards. And it helps. You've got a notepad and a pen. People go, geez, this guy really believes in his business. People follow belief. People follow belief, not systems. Think about that. Right? You've got to lead people in this business. And then this, I'm not going to go through that, but understand, the more you start understanding what differentiates DuePoint from other businesses, you'll appreciate it more from your point of view. It'll increase belief. Your belief. That increased belief will permeate into everything that you do, right? You can only be successful if you believe in this business 100%. So there is, you'll find this on Facebook. So if you join our Facebook page, go look for this image. It'll give you in bullet point everything that separates us from other businesses. Because when you go out, the person you speak to has been pitched 20 times. Other businesses, panty liners, milkshakes, vitamins, they've heard it all. Bitcoin, gold, whatever it is. They're going to go, well, what's different between you and those businesses? What are you going to say? I'll come back to you. No, right? So be aware of all these points. This separates us from every other business out there. You can go, right, I'll tell you what DuePoint does, what all these other businesses don't do. And then you tell them, right? Have belief in your business. It empowers your success in life. And that's it. Folks, any questions? You've all been very quiet. You again.
But this time, I see there's the slide. Not the global, what do you call it? The universal constant.
Yeah.
So I think if I look at that and I look at the 365, I tend to believe or understand that when you do the 365, you're actually going to be way better off than
what the universal constant tells you.
Yeah, because now you're putting in 365, so you've actually got 3 diamonds within your first 100 people.
Your 3 ranked 9s. Yeah. Odds. Yeah.
So you're actually sitting with like 9 plus.
Yeah, so if you, what Cully's pointing out is that we've got a universal constant that says, on average, every 100 people that you connect on your first point, you're likely to find 1 ranked 9 with every 100 people that you connect, right? So he's asking, well, in 365, you're connecting nearly 400. So aren't you going to find 4 ranked 9s? Well, you may or you may not. So if you look at businesses, big channels that we have here, they can go, yes, I've got a rank 9. Patrick and Pumi, yes, I've got a rank 9 on my first point. How many people have you connected? So Patrick and Pumi, they're getting into their, they've just passed 200. They should have found another rank 9. They haven't. There might be one brooding there who hasn't exposed themselves yet, but it is a numbers game, right? So if I looked at this audience here, there's no ways I could go, okay, you're going to be a rank 9 and you're going to be a rank 9. I have to trust the system enough to go, well, hopefully in the 100 there's a rank 9. Might not be. I might have to get through 300 people, and then in the 300th people I find the 3 rank 9s right at the end. And that's why this is a numbers game. If you give up, you will never. The more doors you knock on, the more likely the ratio is to become true. Right? So if you throw dice, it's the same as throwing dice. Gambling is all based on numbers and ratios. If you throw dice, you keep throwing, you keep throwing, you keep throwing, or a coin. If you spin a coin, heads and tails will be 50-50 the more you do the coin. If you do it once, it's only be one or the other. If you do it twice, it could be 2 heads, right? So from a ratios point of view, don't pin your hopes and dreams on the ratio. You're not going to go, oh, look, I connected 100. Where's my rank 9? Where's my rank 9? I'm not doing this business. Right? We're saying the ratio becomes true the longer you do the business. And that's why people fall foul of quitting early in the game. Because it's too sporadic, the data, right? You've got to do lots of business to show what your averages are. Any other questions? No questions. Who's doing? Yes, sir.
I have a question. When it comes to getting people to join and come the location, just this office or something else?
No. So our head office, this is our head office. We don't have any offices around the country. We only had a head office. So some wealth engineers host their own presentations. So like Spamandla in KZN, he had his offices that he opened up, and he was doing 20, 30 people a day coming through his office. Now you know why he went to rank 9 in 5 months. Everyone's different. You've got to do what suits you. So we don't have offices around the country. We only have one head office here, but that shouldn't prevent anyone outside of Johannesburg doing their own presentations or using. That's why we have the live stream, so that people can just whip on YouTube and boom, you can watch it live if you really want off of YouTube. Yes, ma'am. What do you think the answer is to that? So the question is, does DuePoint returns get taxed? So I'm not a tax advisor, but I can tell you with 100%, no doubt in my mind, that the tax man taxes you on everything except a tax-free investment. That's the only thing you don't get taxed on. That's our Access Wealth product. And that's got a cap on it, right? The taxman says only 33,000 Rand contribution annually. That's the most you get. Everything else in your life gets taxed. When you die, you get taxed. DuePoint returns get taxed. The rental income you don't disclose should be taxed. Everything gets taxed. So yes, your return, you're supposed to declare your return at the end of the year, you'll get taxed on it, depending on what bracket you fall into. So it gets treated as any personal income tax. No, we don't take the tax off. No. Yeah. It's your responsibility. Yeah. Any other questions?
Rob, break-even point in business. When you're starting a new business, the first thing you're looking at is when do I break even in the business in terms of me not putting money in.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm seeing here is basically after you put 6 people in, you've broken even, if you're having one product.
Yeah. That's why I say this is a royalty-based business where you pretty much don't have any costs. So the question is, when do you break even in this business? So you can say, well, the product's costing me, let's take Wealth Guard, 249 Rand. How quickly can you earn more than 249 Rand in this business a month? 5 people. That's how quickly you can break even. Well, then you go, well, I travel, I've got petrol expenses and data expenses because I use YouTube. Okay, add those in. Now go out and look at any business in the country that can say your cost to run your DuePoint channel is as low as what it is. It is insignificant compared to what you can earn in this business. It should not even be a question. If you're getting stuck on, well, this business is too expensive, then you ain't going to be in any business, right? You must just stay at home. So break even is very quick in this business. That's why I say we always point out in the intro presentation, when we talk about social impact, we've really tried to make this business as accessible to everybody as possible. But we understand some people don't even have the 249, right? So our business isn't for everybody, but it is for a very large portion of the population that we're trying to empower. Any other questions? No? Everyone ready to go connect someone? If you're Patrick and Pumi, you're going to be at the shopping center this afternoon, making a nuisance of yourselves with strangers. All right.
Rob, can I
Yeah.
please declare which McDonald's and the shopping center are going to?
Yeah, go watch Patrick and Pumi's video on 365. Okay. Guys, thanks. If you have any other questions, come chat to me. Otherwise, good luck. Have a good weekend. Ciao.